As full-time travelers, we see a lot of cathedrals, we see a lot of centros, we see a lot of the most beautiful things in the whole wide world, and I ain't complaining, but one of the things I love doing the most as we travel is volunteering and getting a chance to give back. We have got 3 ways for you to volunteer around the world that we're going to share with you. You may already know about 2 of them, but I can guarantee you this third one is the best travel hack you've ever had and one of the most fulfilling ways you can ever volunteer anywhere.
Yeah, it is. And like Chris said, we love to volunteer. We love to give back. And after being early retired and traveling around the world, we've been traveling around the world for over 4 years now. It's great to get that feeling to give back. So before we jump into it, this is Chris and I'm Steve, and we are EatWalkLearn, and traveling for over 4 years now. Right now we are in Ireland and enjoying
one of the ways we volunteer.
One of the ways that we are volunteering. But we're going to tell you about 3 ways, and we're going to tell you about maybe some of the easy things that you can do and some of the difficult things that it is to volunteer around the world.
And although we want you to hang on to every word dripping with salivation about everything we say, if you know number 1 and 2, you know what? Skip to number 3. We don't have any problem with you doing that because I'm telling you, number 3 is the ticket. All right, number 1, house sitting. So we've talked about house sitting before. You can see our video up here. We've blogged about it at EatWalkLearn. We've got all kinds of tricks of how to house sit, where to house sit, how to do your profile, how to get 5-star reviews, what house sitting is. But in a nutshell, house sitting, for us, there's lots of ways to house sit. We use a website called Trusted Housesitters. We pay an annual fee to have a profile up on Trusted Housesitters. We look for house sits around the world that may or may not include pets. We contact the homeowners. They look at our profile. We look at their profile. We have some video calls. We have a conversation. If we agree, we confirm a house sit and we go stay at somebody else's house.
Yeah, and a lot of people think of, well, it's just a great place to stay and you don't have to pay for it. But house sitting to us is a lot of responsibility. Mm-hmm. You're taking care of a house.
It is WORK.
Yes. And primarily, you're taking care of pets. In the situation where we are today, we have 3 dogs, a cat, and a turtle. Yeah. And the turtle keeps going hey, let me out of here. I don't know if I'm supposed to take the turtle out.
It's like, the substitute teacher's here and he's going to see what he's trying to get away with.
Exactly. So it's a lot of work with the daily schedule. You can't leave for a long period of time. You've got to be able to take care of those pets and treat them as your own and really give them the love and support that you need.
Mm-hmm. And I think what's important when we talk about house sitting, there is no exchange of money. We stay for free. They don't pay for house sitting or pet sitting. So, and often we will get a car along with it. So the homeowners, they want to make sure we have access to their car. So in case something happens to the pet, we can get the pet to the vet immediately. And because of that, they often let us use the car to do other things. Now, if you want to learn more about Trusted House Sitters, please use our link below. If you use the link and our code, you get 25% off on your membership as either a homeowner or as a house sitter. Go put up your profile. Depending on how much we house sit each night, we have saved everywhere from $1,000 a year to $15,000 a year house sitting. But as Steve said, it's not just about the money. It's about having a nice home that is very comfortable with a good kitchen and a nice couch and a good television and good remotes and everything works. And it's just a nice change of pace from an Airbnb or a hotel.
And it is rewarding because you also get the opportunity to enjoy the pets. And it's something that, we're traveling full time. We don't have a dog that's with us. So to be able to be in a house and enjoy the pets and to give, some belly rubs or whatever, except for the turtle. The turtle isn't like belly rubs. Mm-hmm. But it's not just the pets too. We're taking care of the house. So, cutting the grass and making sure that the garbage is out, making sure that everything is working properly. So it is a big responsibility.
I remember that house sit in Australia where we had the garage break and then the electricity broke. So, it was good that we were there because otherwise they would have come back to a house with some problems in it. So anyway, all right. Number 2, A lot of other nomads have also mentioned this. It is such a great time. We are going to mention it as well. We've done it before, but that is spend a week at Elephant Nature Park in Thailand outside of Chiang Mai. Why that facility? Why that location? And why that volunteer opportunity?
Yeah, so Elephant Nature Park is incredibly unique. And it's unique in that it is the most respect and dignity they are giving to the elephants. And not just elephants, but there's also dogs and cats and some other various animals that you have. Over 100 elephants that have been working hard since they were babies.
Taken out of the jungle.
Yeah, exactly. The industry that for using elephants for labor, and even if it's just for like a circus kind of a thing,
or a zoo,
is really brutal to the animals. And they're all adopted and they're all given an opportunity to live out their entire life, which could be 80 years old, with love and with dignity. There's no riding. There's no petting. There's no, water, washing. Mm-hmm. All of those things are just different ways for other places to say that they are treating the animals with respect. But there is no natural instinct for an elephant to want to be ridden by a human.
Right. So the beauty of this rescue, it is the kingpin, the cream on the top, the absolute premium version of animal rescue, and is the model for animal rescues around the world. Not only do you go and you learn about the plight of the elephant, how they're rescued, the expenses, and all of the background on these elephants, you learn how to take care of them. And take care of the elephant park. So we scooped a lot of poop while we were there. We built a fire line. Some of the elephants are missing their teeth because they were sold into the circus. The teeth were extracted and sold as souvenirs in the circus industry. So we have to make banana sandwiches for these old elephants to be able to eat. And then we get to you're living with the elephants, and so every elephant has a mahout that takes care of them, and the mahout is always with the elephant. You're not allowed to approach the elephants. You're not allowed to touch the elephants, but you're allowed to walk among them and hear the stories about the elephants.
Yeah.
Now, you do have to pay to go to Elephant Nature Park and stay for a week. We volunteered for a week. It was about $400 a person. They give you a beautiful room and three meals plus 2 snacks, I think, a day, all vegan, which was fantastic. So you get your food and your housing for $800 for a couple for the week. And in return, you work about 5 hours a day with the elephants. And it's what I loved most about the entire week was I don't think I thought about anything else that week except being with the elephants. And it was so refreshing to be focused on one thing that was really important. And that was my only responsibility for the week.
Yeah, it's a great way to kind of disconnect and to really focus on what you're doing and be in the moment. And it's a special experience to know that you're helping the animals and that you're giving back in a very unique way. Other than the cost, like Chris mentioned, it is $400 per person. You have to be able to get to Chiang Mai, Thailand, mm-hmm. and Chiang Mai, Thailand is not necessarily an easy place to get to. But once you're there, everything else is taken care of, and the volunteers are really a vital part of that organization.
And a lot of them come back year after year after year.
Yeah.
I think the important thing we want to make here is there are a lot of animal sanctuaries and ways for tourists to take care of animals around the world. What is different about Elephant Nature Park is it's not a travel agency, it's not a tour agency, it's not a travel agency trying to market animals as a way to entertain people. This is a working location that the money goes to exactly to your expenses and to the rescue of the animals,
right?
And not to a travel agency.
We also talked about not just elephants, it's also dogs and cats and mm-hmm. other types of animals. And when we were there, they had rescued thousands of dogs mm-hmm. and cats from some flooding that happened throughout mm-hmm. the country. And it really, really needed those volunteers because the dogs and cats needed a lot of care, and
they need walking and petting, and they feed them and clean up after the dogs and the cats. But They just need the cats and the dogs need socialization, and you're just there to pet them and walk them. It's great. Yeah. Okay. Before we tell you our third thing, which I'm telling you, you don't know about this, and it is a hack. Just some of the difficulties in volunteering around the world. It is very difficult as world traveling nomads to volunteer. A lot of volunteer organizations, they want background checks. They want to train you. They want you to stay in town for a year. They, want to have a relationship with you. And so, we're moving through town and we just don't have the ability to be able to spend the time to get into the volunteer system. So occasionally these one-offs will come up. Like, for example, we heard about in Aruba, the local school was putting in an urban edible forest. We just showed up. We said, hey, can we dig some holes and plant some trees? They said, great. We were in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We heard about an after-school program that was having a fundraiser or get-together, and we stopped in. And we saw some laptops laying around, and there had been donated computers, but no one knew how to get the passwords off of them and open them up. So Steve and I spent the afternoon putting together a computer lab so the kids could learn how to type. So all these little one-offs, they show up in places. I find them often on Facebook events. I'll go to Facebook, I'll look at the events for the local community for that week or that weekend, and there'll be like a 10K, and they need people to hand out, bibs or whatever. And we show up when we do them. So they're not, as rewarding as these other ones that we mentioned, but it is a nice way to spend the day and just enjoy the local community, and a great way to get to know the community and the neighborhood.
Yeah. And if you have any ideas for volunteering around the world, let us know, because we're busy planning out next year and we're looking for other opportunities, and might be able to help us help other people.
Yeah. So the last thing we want to talk about, and this is the drum roll, the big reveal, is we, as some other Nomad friends of ours, thanks Georgina and Thomas and Ruth, mentioned an organization called Vaughantown, VAUGHANTOWN. This is an organization that teaches Spaniards how to speak English. Now, their students they know the grammar, they know how to read, they're very literate. It's just their conversational skills. They're coming for conversation. And what Vaughantown needs is people to come and speak English. No Spanish. You're not even allowed to speak Spanish. You're not even allowed to say hola. It's English only for an entire week, and you just talk. What did we do at Vaughantown?
Yeah, so there were a lot of conversations that we had one-to-one with the students. And again, a little bit more about the students. Most of them were professionals, and they were learning English for their career, for their job. And they spoke English fairly well. They all had different degrees, but they were also all in different levels of their education journey. But this was an opportunity for them to get a total immersion into speaking English. So the volunteers were there to have conversations with the students, and it could be about anything. So it was easy and very easy for extroverts. I'm not an extrovert, so it's a little challenging for me to
They loved you, though. By the end of the week, the Spanish women are coming up and saying, oh, Steve, oh, Estevi, he is so nice. He is so funny. You are so lucky to be married to him. I'm like, he's mine! Go away! They loved you. You were like the belle of the ball.
All I did was talk, and what do people? And they need to talk, so I was asking them questions. Well, tell me about your profession, and really dig deep and get them to really be reflective and really maybe talk in ways that they're not used to talking in English. This is their second language, maybe their third language.
And they invited you to talk about controversial topics and politics and religion and social issues. And we talked about the USA. And we talked about health issues and women's. It was really, in my mind, to be able to talk about a controversial issue in another language and have emotion and subjective and conditional phrasing in your vocabulary, that's a challenge. And these people, these Spaniards, they rose to the top and absolutely was fantastic.
Yeah. It wasn't just talking. Yeah. So there were some different workshops. There were some different, prompts and some different entertainment hour and just to say that you're watching Steve, Chris and I just talking heads here a little bit, because while we were in this experience for a week, so this is another 1 week program, we weren't taking a lot of pictures.
Right.
And I don't think that would even be appropriate because there's privacy issues. There was a lot of people. There was probably maybe 40 of us total, maybe 20 students and 20 volunteers.
There were more students more students than volunteers. I think it was 13 volunteers and 17 students, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd say the average age of the volunteers, Steve and I were probably the average. They were a couple younger and a couple older than us. And then on the Spaniards, they probably averaged about 35. Would you say? Something right around 35?
Yeah, definitely in their 30s, there seemed to be a sweet spot again. If you're thinking about your career and where you're trying to advance and where you're trying to get ahead, and having that ability to speak a second language for them is so critical
and lucrative.
To being able to move up in their career.
Yeah. So what happens at Vaughantown and how do you volunteer? So you go to vaughantown.com, and I think it is, and there's a volunteer section. You fill out an application. You kind of do a little bit of your CV, and they evaluate that you are a good English speaker, that you have some kind of, you don't have to have a teaching background, but you have to have the ability to interact with people and help. Occasionally we would correct language and so on, but our job was not as teachers. There are teachers there that have classes with them. We're just there to listen, and if they ask you to correct them, you have the opportunity to do that. Anyway, so you go to the website, you fill out the form. They have, in the summertime, they have 3 locations for adults, and then they have other locations for teenagers and other locations for children. So if you have any interest in teenage and children, they also need volunteers for that. But there's 3 locations. Our location that we just went to was about an hour and a half outside of Madrid, halfway between Madrid and Barcelona, on a beautiful 4-star resort that was a thermal bath resort. And our schedule started at 9 o'clock in the morning with breakfast. And then we had one-on-one conversations throughout the day, or different activities. Each hour was a different activity. At 2 o'clock was lunch. Then there was a siesta. And then at 5 o'clock, we started up again with different activities and things and skits and comedy and so on until 9 p.m. That's when we had dinner. And then after dinner, the Spaniards went out and partied. The Americans went to bed.
Some of us volunteers went for social hour.
I think I heard you might have taught a few people about poker, honey.
Oh yeah, we did have a poker game.
Yeah. Anyway, so you start on Sunday. They pick you up in Madrid on Sunday. The program ends Friday morning, and they take you back to Madrid. So you have to get to Madrid, and then everything is completely included. There's no dime out of your pocket the entire week. The whole thing is included. And at our location, they even gave the volunteers an hour in the hot spring pool as a thank you. There are 2 other locations. We haven't been to those. We can only recommend the Vaughantown that we went to, which was in Alhama de Aragon. But everyone who we've talked to says the other locations are just as wonderful.
And there's also other organizations that do the same thing, and not just in Spain. So we've heard of in other countries as well. We're not going to personally recommend those because we don't have that experience. Yeah. But certainly this is not a one company, one place thing. This is a kind of a program that we might check out in other places because it's available. Yeah.
So the model is volunteers come for the week. It's free for the volunteers. The native speakers pay the entire package to underwrite the free volunteers. So we loved it. We would do it again. Absolutely. And we know it's available in Poland. So maybe we'll go drink some vodka in Poland, as opposed to the red wine in Spain. Anyway, so these volunteer activities, and the reason why we like Vaughantown, this is a big reason for me, is I am so grateful to all the people around the world that learn English to make my life better. I am privileged as can be that I have English as my first language, and this is the way I can absolutely give back to all the people who have spent lots of money and lots of time of their own learning how to speak my language. And I cannot understate how grateful I am to that, and to be able to give back a week of my time so I can help some other folks reduce their costs in order to learn language, and to also learn from native English speakers. That is a gift that I'm going to put a big red bow on and put under the Christmas tree. It's fabulous.
Yeah. It was very rewarding for me to be able to help these language learners, some individuals that have been working at this for years. this may have been like the culmination of like, I think a 20-week program that they were involved in. And to be able to give back to me in a very simple way. I'm just having a conversation, but they are, having this opportunity to speak with native English speakers and really learn and absorb the language in a way that they couldn't do in a classroom.
And they get some slang too.
Yes, we may have had some slang during poker.
We might have taught some dirty words.
Did you?
No, never.
No.
If you've got some ideas about how to volunteer around the world or want some more details about us, we'll put some links in the description, especially about Vaughantown and Elephant Nature Park. These are great organizations that we absolutely recommend. Also, if you want to do house sitting, grab the link and the code. You need both in order to get the 25% discount. Grab that. We love to support that. And we would love your ideas. If you've got places that you volunteered, you've got links or one-on-one relationships with other organizations that you recommend that qualify for us in relation to the animals and the ways to give back, we really want to know about those. We're traveling around the world. We want to seek these places out and add more weeks to our 52 weeks of 52 weeks of time where we're volunteering. We'll see you next week. Watch this video here about Elephant Nature Park. We went there 2 years ago, had the best time. Here's all the details about that. See you next week.